So hi, my name is Zach Sipple. I'm the Director of Business Intelligence at Chipotle Mexican Grill. With me, very talented senior analyst from Chipotle, Neil Sharma, especially in this data viz realm, a tool we call Tableau. So we're going to talk to you guys about our story, Tableau with Chipotle. Specifically, one part of our story we call Zero to Data Hero in 3 months. Yeah, data hero, we use that term, hero. We went that strong with our terminology, my friends. So we're going to talk you through a couple things. One, get you guys a little information about Chipotle. Talk about where we started in BI. And then we're going to talk about the methodology we use to go from zero to hero. Some of you that have seen Tableau Drive might see we took a page or two, maybe 1 or 2 pages out of the Tableau Drive methodology there. And we'll talk about why did it work. Why did it work that we were able to scale Tableau to an enterprise reporting solution in 3 months? And our story is going to be a little different than some of the stories you hear, in that we focused it on how to use this enterprise dashboard tool, which is sometimes a different kind of story than you hear in the typical Tableau world. And then we're going to give you the overall impact Tableau had on Chipotle. Chipotle Mexican Grill. Anybody not been to a Chipotle? It's okay if you haven't. So, come on. That's not funny, Jason. Okay, we got one. We got one over there. You should go to Chipotle. Delicious food. But no, seriously, I'm glad you guys have all enjoyed a Chipotle burrito at some point. Thank you. Appreciate that. And we were founded in 1993 in Denver, Colorado. Our headquarters is also based in Denver, Colorado. And if you're wondering, yes, Denver is 1 mile above sea level. It is, okay? Go for a run, you'll feel it. A big part of Chipotle is we are a passionate company. We are extremely passionate about what we do, and it's not just because we love rolling a good burrito, but we do more as a company. We have what we call food with integrity, and that's trying to do the very best for the environment, for the farmers, for the animals, for people like you, my friends, all you customers out there. We really try to do the best we can, along with make a dollar along the way. And we do this at scale. We have 70,000 employees, most of them across our 2,300 restaurants, US, Canada, in Europe. And we have 1 million customers that walk through our doors every day. I don't know if you guys see, I'm licking my chops right now on that data that comes through every day. We get to evaluate. So we get to be a part of something pretty great, and we get to evaluate a lot of data, whether it's operational, customer, our employees, with our people data. A lot of fun analysis we get to do. But when I started Chipotle about a year ago, BI was in a unique spot. It was in a unique spot. It was what you kind of call a traditional, old school kind of way. We had a lot of reports, hundreds of reports out there, and they all kind of looked the same. They all looked like these beautiful spreadsheets, rows and columns. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had to work really hard to find reports that had color from back in the day. You see that color? That's glamorous reporting from our early days. And I worked hard, so we knew we had an opportunity to go further than where we were. And it was very much a reactive. All you fine folks, if you were part of our company, were able to come to Business Intelligence and ask for a little update here. Hey, can I get a little field added on there? Can I get a field added on there? Hey, you know what? Maybe do an ad hoc query for me. That was our world. We weren't proactively going out there to really get to the next level insights we know we could. We weren't using data visualization the way we could to get to take the right action. Anybody have an idea, maybe a tool we could have thought about, we should be thinking about there? Any ideas? Did I hear Excel? No, we didn't use Excel. Yeah, Power BI, no, we didn't use Power BI. Tableau, my friends. You guys might have heard this tool. So we had a moment in our company's history. A moment in our company history. You guys might have heard about this. In late 2015, we had an E. coli event. I got some customers sick. We had to close down some restaurants for a period. And extremely hard times. Like, I told you that this company is so passionate about what we do. They care so much about everything we do in these restaurants that it hit us hard. Not only financially, but emotionally as a company. And when this happens, it's a horribly hard time. It's a horribly hard time as a company figuring out what do you do with this. When you could do no wrong, your customers were coming, they would not stop coming. Our sales were going crazy. We were the darling of Wall Street. Boom. Okay, we got it, guys. We were in a great spot, and then this happened. And those of you that have been in organizations, when you have a trying time like this, when things are good versus when things are bad, when do you think people care most about data? When they care most about getting the insight, when they care most about figuring out how to take the right action? Yeah, you guys guessed it. It's the hard times, my friends. It's not the easy times, right? People don't care in the same way when things are easy. People care when things are not easy and you're having challenges. This was our time, right? This was our time to go beyond anything we've ever done before with data. Get to that next level of insight. Use data to change the way we were working in the restaurants. So that's what we did. But we had to figure out, how do we get there? How do we take advantage of this opportunity we had? How do we change the way we think of data? And we started down this process of discovery. What tool is going to work for us? We didn't know if Tableau for sure was going to be the right tool. Prototype. We got to build out the art of the possible. How do we know to make sure all the right things are going to make it happen? We got to build out this foundation, right? We didn't have any data visualization expertise. We never done this level of kind of dashboards before. And then we had to get adoption. How do you get people who are used to these grid reports to change the way they think about data? Go to that next level of depth. Go deep, really deep. You guys hear me? Anybody hear me in the back? Yes, deep. So we started down this journey, the discovery, the discovery phase. We didn't have Tableau yet, but graciously we got a 30-day server trial. And one of our reactions to our challenging time, our crisis moment, was Chiptopia. Yeah, I know you guys are saying, wow, that's a catchy name. That is a catchy name, and you're right, Chiptopia. So we had this frequency program, and maybe some of you were the 70,000 that got super hot reward status. Okay, no one here, I'm sorry. Good. Hey, we got one, yes, super hot. Free catering. Hope you enjoyed your catering. Thank you for your support. So when we had this, the first time we'd done anything like this before, the first time we'd ever had a program like this, a frequency program. We didn't know what the data was going to look like when we came in. We didn't know how to analyze the data like this as a company. We didn't know how to measure success really effectively yet. It's a perfect time to try Tableau to show people the ways we could use it. We had one problem. We didn't have anybody in our company that was a data visualization expert. We didn't have anybody that ever even seen Tableau before. So we gave it a shot, right? We gave it a shot. We made a couple decent visuals. The data was pretty static. We rolled it out, and people were like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We didn't show them what really we could do with Tableau. But myself and the BI team, we knew Tableau was a tool that we were going to use. We knew that we had to get to the insights quickly. We were at a crisis moment in our company. We didn't have time to wait 6 months to figure out what was going on and how we were going to react. And this stuff had to be super intuitive. If you think of the people that a lot of our users are, they're people from the restaurants, right? We have people that have 5 restaurants up to 500 under their control. And these people, you better believe they were amazing at cutting chicken. Guys, these guys could cut some serious chicken. They could squash some guac. Oh man, could they squash guac? You should see the chips. When they're frying those chips in the morning, oh, were they making good chips? And they could roll a really good burrito. But they were not data experts. They were not reporting experts. I didn't need to have to give them a full training about how to use a reporting tool and how to use it. It had to be super intuitive. And I needed to find some people. I wanted to find some people that were going to come down this journey with us, bring us to the next level of data and get into insights and be a data-driven. Anybody know any communities out there that are passionate people? Anybody know any communities? Anybody know a Tableau community that is passionate about data? Any of you guys know about this community I'm talking about? These are the people I wanted to find, and that's why I knew Tableau was going to be a tool we could use and find those folks. So we had this wonderful opportunity come in our hands. All right, discovery did not work out as well as we hoped. But this opportunity came into our laps, and a big thing for me and other leaders in the company where we needed to really get to find this company what was going to mean success for us. In 2017, we were going to change the way we measure success and how we determine our progress towards that. And we did this. We did this as a company. We thought about data and what we measured differently than we ever had before. We had one problem, though. This data was everywhere. This data was everywhere, and you had at least 20 places you had to go to figure out these foundational metrics, things like sales, things like our throughput, how fast we get customers through the line, our customer satisfaction. All these things were really hard to find. And if you were really good, as I said, you could find in 20 places. If you didn't know what you were doing, it would take you 100 places. So this was our chance, guys. This is our chance to say, all right, Let's make a difference. Let's make sure that 2017 is different than anything we've ever done before and lead the next level of journey for all these data. So it was time. It was time to show Chipotle the art of the possible with Tableau. So we said, all right, we know what our metrics are going to be. We know what people care about as a company right now. And there was one metric that people cared about most, which is what we call a restaurant grade. A to F. Every restaurant gets a grade, A to F. Any of you guys that have been in school, you might have gotten an A, good, congratulations. You might have got F. I know that feels bad, right? We don't want to have Fs, but we got to get, that was the thing that people want to know most. What's our operational effectiveness of our restaurants out there? So we took this one metric that the whole company needed to know more than anything, and we just created a prototype. We're going to spend 40 hours to show the art of the possible. Again, we didn't have talent. We didn't have any rock stars as a company, but I knew one company that did, Slalom Consulting, good partner of ours, and we got this one rock star. He may be sitting in here, maybe sitting in this room. I don't want to point him out because I don't want to embarrass him, because he told me, he's like, don't show those pictures. I would have done so much better than those pictures if I would have had more than 40 hours. And he would have, but the point was showing what we could do with 40 hours, showing the art of the possible with this prototype. And we were going to make something that you could have this amazing guided experience. You can go from the enterprise, go through our entire organizational hierarchy, regions, sub-regions, patches, restaurants, understanding the level of depth of what's going on across our company. And you're going to make it super intuitive. So these people that used to be cutting chicken, they really know what's going on and don't have to try to learn, a whole new reporting tool. And we're going to have one-stop shop, right? It was about getting all the data into one place, not data all over the place. And we're going to show the speed delivery. This 40 hours, what can we do in this 40 hours? So we took this prototype to our C-levels. Just a half-hour discussion, CEO, CIO, CFO, CMO, COO. Show them, here's what we can do with data. I know you guys haven't seen data in this way. You haven't seen how we can guide through and get to insights that we haven't been able to do before. But this is what we can do. And this half-hour discussion turned into an hour and a half. And it was because we spent an hour and a half talking about Tableau capabilities. Not that we couldn't have. 15 minutes, we figured that out. The next hour, 15 minutes, was about us getting to insights. It was about these C-levels going through and using the dashboard and learning about things they had never understood in our organization before, the effectiveness of our operations. And we got done with this. They sat there and went, oh my God, if I can figure this out. If someone at my level is able to figure out these details, think about the people on the ground, what they could do with this data if they get in there. And they said to me, Zach, we need to get this out. Get this out to our leaders, get this out to our field. And guys, I responded with, whoa, guys. We didn't even have a desktop license, really. But we can make it happen. Just got to do a couple things, but we can make it happen. So this was our start, right? We had to build this now. First, we had to find our people. We had to find these passionate people in the Tableau community. I spent about 20 hours a week for many weeks, many weeks to try to find these people. One of them right here, this wonderful gentleman, Neil, to find people that were ready to take this journey with us, right? To change the way we think about data, figure out how we get to that next level of insight that the people had never had before. So we found some people. It wasn't easy. Every rock, guys. You see a rock, I looked at it. Recruiting team, I talked to them. We tried to find these people. It was hard, but we did find some great people. Then we had to come with some process, right? Our traditional development lifecycle was not going to work for the way we wanted to go at Tableau. We had to change the way we thought about it. Those of you guys that are in the agile world, we chose a Kanban-like approach. We want to be nimble. We want to be able to quickly get things out appropriately. Neil will talk more about this in a little bit. And we had to come up with some good standards. When we had to roll this out, we didn't have the ability to be trying to figure out our process along the way, right? We wanted to get this out, we had to get the right adoption. So we developed some really strong standards about how we develop these dashboards. We made it so that anytime someone looked at a dashboard, they knew 80% of it without us training them, because we gave them that upfront knowledge. 80% of it had the same look and feel and way to guide through the data. Huge piece for us. And then technology. Hey, IT partners. Hey, do you mind just putting some new server on? Server on here for me, get some hardware. We didn't have any hardware. We needed to set all this up. And we had to do it quickly, and we could not allow the hardware to be any way that would cause us a reason to fail. We could not have the way we set it up be the reason why a report went down or the performance was bad. So we were extremely diligent, extremely focused, made sure we got that set up pretty quickly. A little 8-core, little guy, but it was our starting point. So my friends, here we are, right? We had something. We had something. What do we do with this something? What do? We have Tableau Server, 8-core. Was anybody as excited as I am right now? Maybe. I was excited. So we started with one little dashboard. One little dashboard we called the Chip Dash. I know, settle down. It's an exciting, unique name, Chipotle dashboard. But this Chipotle dashboard gave one place for the most important metrics that we defined as a company for what success was going to be in 2017. Rather than going into 20 to 100 places, you go to this one place. And this was going to be our gateway. This was going to be our one place. They would come here. You want to go deeper into these metrics? This is where you're going to come through. This is where you're going to start. And we had a little bit of some unorthodox approaches from maybe what you've seen in the past, in that we started on the top. We only gave our top leaders access to this. And I'm going to tell you, my friends, when you give the top leaders access to data and they think their people can really take some good action on that and make a difference, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry to get that out. And if your boss knows more than you do about how successful you are, guess what? You're going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry to want to get that data. So you're not going to let your boss know more about how successful you are than you are. I think that made sense. So we started on this path, and then we said, all right, we're going to start doing this further, and we're going to incrementally build. Do you need a little more information on your customer satisfaction? Let's go a little deeper. Here's a dashboard to help you with that. You need to understand a little more how you're doing on your overall labor? I'm going to give you a little something to go deeper on that. Do you need to understand how fast you're getting the customers through our lines? One of our key differentiators? I'm going to help you with that. And we kept on going and going and going a little deeper over 3 months until we built a decent foundation where people would come to one place for some of the most important metrics of the company and go from the top down to the bottom of our organization and really be able to take action out there. And this is a huge step for us. This was a huge step for us. We were all looking at the same data. We were all looking at the same source. We're all aligning the same metrics together. Crazy exciting times for us. And the other piece, for us was we had to be committed. We knew that we wanted to do it in 3 months. Every month we had to be committed to release exactly what we said we were. We had to be committed to the scope. We had to be committed that performance was going to be great. We had to be committed that the data quality was going to be there. We had the leadership support now. We had people hungry for data, hungrier than they've ever been at the company. We were not going to be able to fail or allow ourselves to fail because of that. So we had a tough 3 months, but building this foundation was key to make sure we had that adoption that was going to come. So, but we don't get that adoption if we don't have the right strategic partnership. And a lot of things happened throughout Chipotle. As part of our crisis, we had a lot of new exciting things for our customers. Things like Savor Waves, RZA. Anybody know RZA? Yeah, you guys know RZA. You can go out on Savor Waves and get to hear what your burrito tastes like. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I know it sounds crazy, but go out. You should try it out. It's fun. We do things like that. We got to learn how our promotions are affecting us. We had Chiptopia. Right, our frequency program, stuff like that comes up. We have to evolve quickly on how we're going. Queso. Say it with me, guys. Queso. Nobody? Okay. It's okay. You can be shy. I'll let you on this for this time. But queso, huge new product for us that customers have been asking for a long time. Guess what? It did change the way we had to think a little bit. And we had to evolve. That's why for the 3 months and ongoing, we can only go about a month in advance with knowing where we're going to go next because we're evolving so fast. And that's why we had to change. We had to make sure that our standards are really important. We had to make sure that our processes are really efficient because we're constantly evolving as a company right now. So, over 3 months, we went from never having anyone even know what Tableau was at the company, up to 800 users. And 800 users is great, but at the end of the day, anybody can get, you can give license to anybody. The key for us was not the licenses and not people having access, it was them using it. In 3 months, we went from no one even hearing of this ever before to 80 concurrent users out there banging away, getting the insights, and changing the way we work as a company. This was a huge thing for us. That the hunger was driven by all the things that we were talking about. And it wasn't that they were just using it. They were changing the way we worked at Chipotle. We were learning things like finding that the way we measured customer satisfaction was not the most effective way. We had a metric that we had used for 5 years that we realized was telling us something different than we thought it was telling us all this time. You were able to learn things really effectively because we were using data differently than ever before. And part of why we got this adoption the way we did was two things around our advisory and our stakeholders. We had an advisory group that we met with every 2 weeks, and they were always there to tell us, are we building the right things? Are we going to build the right things? What are people's feedback? And this feedback was not optional. We would find you, my friends. We would find you. You're not giving us feedback? We are going to find you to get the feedback, because this is for all of us to make sure Chipotle is a better place. All of us had to be together. This was not a optional thing for us to do. We had to get to the right insights. We had to make a difference for the company. And we had to align ourselves with the right stakeholders. Whenever we developed a new metric, we developed a new dashboard, stakeholder attached to the hip. Neil, do you have a couple stakeholders attached to the hip?
Right here.
You had a couple? These stakeholders, when we would start down the process, when you build out a wireframe, that mock-up, you know where that stakeholder is going to be? Right here. Sit in the conference room, whiteboarding all day, right here, stakeholder. Right there, guys. Then, you get to that first prototype, right? It starts from the work. You're seeing what the insights are. You're seeing how it work. Right there, guys, attached to the hip. You get to that next level, that productionalized thing, to make sure that we're going to roll this out. You know where they are? Attached to the hip. See the trend? Where a stakeholder is, right here. Maybe later you'll see one of them. They'll be right here next to me. You'll know why. Hip, attached. So why did this work for us at Chipotle, guys? Why were we able to go from never having the concept of data visualization, never having a centralized way of getting the data before, and going from no one having that to everybody getting hunger? And you heard me talk about a few things. I'm going to hit on a couple strategic takeaways, and then Neil will give you some other perspective from a development side. The first thing was starting on the top. This wasn't an effort of the analysts all over the company doing their thing and then coming up. This was the top leaders of the company, all across the company, driving the hunger, driving the excitement, driving the need that we needed to look at data differently than we had before. They were the ones that drove it. They were the ones that made sure that everybody in the company looked at this data the way we all needed to be successful. Focus, focus, focus. The art of the possible drive demand. Demand brings shiny objects. Stay focused. So when you bring a tool like Tableau into a company, people get a little excited. People might want to try some new things. And for us, we had such a big foundation we had to build before we looked at any other shiny objects. We couldn't stray from that to make sure that no matter what, everybody's focused on the right measures for success. And it's a hard discussion when you have one of your C-levels come to you and say, Zach, I have a new thing I want to look at. Can you pull this together? Can we try this new dashboard? I have to tell them that we'd love to soon, once we get this foundational piece together for all the people across the company. But we had to stay focused. We had to stay focused. And strategic alignment, always. Strategic alignment drives excitement and value. One thing we found out early, as we did, is you do anything that's not aligned with where the company wants to go, people stop caring quickly. People stop caring real quickly. And we had our measures aligned as a company. If these strategic measures, whether they be our customer satisfaction, our throughput, how fast you get customers through, our overall inventory measures, our sales, these measurements, they were tied to your performance review at the end. They were tied to, do you get a bonus? They were tied to, do you get promoted? They were tied to, what do we talk to our investors about? They were tied to, what do we talk to the board about? Everything was aligned to this focus. And as long as we kept that alignment with how we use data, we were very effective. The second we deviated from that, we lost it. Staying strategically focused. Constant triple constraint evaluation. The triple constraints. One triple constraint up here, you guys probably know, the standard project management triple constraint, scope, cost, time. You all know, you can't push all those in the directions you want. You can't have less time, more scope, less dollars. It just doesn't work that way. You have to be able to evaluate which ways you go. Especially if you're trying to do stuff fast, you have to be constantly evaluating that. We also developed something we call the dashboard triple constraint. I know, again, another one of these sexy terms we use, but we have complexity, performance, and hardware. The complexity, we always want to get more insights on these dashboards. You're always tempted to want to go further and make sure they had it all. But the farther you go, the worse your performance gets. Then you lose the adoption. And our hardware, right, we just had a little 8-core guy. Just had a little 8-core guy sitting out there, right? It can only go so far. We had to be evaluating these on how far we wanted where our performance needed to be, what insights we need to have to make sure we were successful. Luckily, we will be at 56 core by the end of this month, so the hardware is getting a little less of a concern, but still something there. So these are just some of the key things that helped us get to that next level of make sure we get the right adoption with the strategic enterprise dashboard capability. So now we'll have Ben. Sorry, Ben. That's the guy up front here who developed the prototype. Neil, talk a little bit about why it works from a development perspective.
Thank you, Zach. Hey, guys. How's it going? You guys feeling it? You're always feeling it, so you can't say that. All this talk about Chipotle, burritos, data hunger, I'm pretty hungry. How about you guys? All right, I got some pity responses. I'll take it. You win some, you lose some. So my name is Neil Sharma, senior analyst at Chipotle. Been with Chipotle in 2017, really joined the company to build on this initiative to become a data-driven organization. And it benefits that Tableau is part of that journey because I may be pretty good at it. Am I allowed to do that? Cool. So as a developer, there were 4 things that after digging in the weeds all day, every day in Tableau, taking a step back to think about what really worked for Chipotle. And to start with the first one, it's early standards equals early adoption. We started with 800 some users that we were developing content for, and they were used to multiple versions of a report, multiple sources, multiple platforms. It wasn't easy, and we wanted to, when presenting Tableau, allow them to understand that they weren't just being forced to learn a new tool. They were actually just experiencing their data. It wasn't about the tool, it was about the information. How could they get insights from it? And this was huge. Giving 800 people one thing for all their metrics just clicked. And we built this framework that you see up here that allowed us to, agnostic of metric, align to Chipotle's strategic initiatives, but also an experience that our end users could get behind. Constant and open feedback from key stakeholders. You may have heard Zach talk about being attached to the hip with stakeholders. It's very true, and it was great. We have bi-weekly meetings on an initiative to make sure we're making the right insights, we're visualizing the right things, and we're actually communicating the right method. So we did this actually through internal communications, leveraging internal podcasts, training videos, and even using iPads for some of our information. By aligning to stakeholders, we were able to ensure that come release day, our content was effectively communicating the right thing at the right time. Plus it drove hunger because the stakeholder knew what was coming down the pipeline and could bring it up in meetings. Structured delivery cycle. Zach may have mentioned that we kind of jumped onto the Kanban Agile little snippets there, and that worked for us. As a developer, you need some consistency. What works, what doesn't, how are we progressing through a month? We committed to a monthly life cycle, or monthly release cycle. A life cycle would be kind of weird. But we wanted to make sure we were online. We wanted to know 2 weeks into the month, what should I be focused on? And this cycle worked really great. What that cycle really entailed for us, and this might be familiar for some of you developers, was wireframing. Before we even jump into Tableau, we wireframe to our beautiful thing up here in the top left. We wireframe to it. We take images of visualizations, we put them together. We say, hey, stakeholder, what do you think about this? And that leads to step 2, feedback. Showing the stakeholder this wireframe. Are we presenting the right insights? Are the graphs effective? What are you seeing? What can we do better? The third step is actually building in Tableau. Now, building in Tableau is the third step, and the month is long. So this would happen about 2 weeks into the month. So there's that time where we weren't wasting guess and checking with visualizations. We were saying, hey, this is what the stakeholders aligned to. Let's build it out. Let's see where we can take it. now that we know what to do. The fourth and pseudo-fifth step, UAT. Now we have a built-out dashboard. Let's test it. Do you guys think this is appropriate? Is this the vision you had for it? How is it being consumed? What do you think? And then pseudo-last step is fit and finish. One day a month, right before release, I like to say we go nuts, but we go nuts, on formatting. Is this pristine? Is it pixel perfect? And we look through our calculations. Are these calculations some things that can be materialized in the data source? Are we leveraging best practices? We want to leave no doubt when we go live on release day. And finally, for us, this is a little selfish, but you got to do it. When we started our journey, we wanted to be cognizant, aware of what we were seeing with our end users. So we built server health monitoring and reporting dashboards. Some of you may be very familiar with this. It's querying the Postgres database within Tableau Server. This lets us monitor what views people are accessing, how are they accessing it, how often, concurrency. Things that as we grow this enterprise scale solution, is it sticking, is it working? To summarize, early standards equal early adoption, constant and open feedback from stakeholders, structured delivery lifecycle, server health monitoring and reporting. High level, these things ensured success for Chipotle in the first 3 months. Well, what does that all add up to? Well, impact at Chipotle with Tableau in the first 3 months was massive. We enhanced KPIs for the remainder of the year based on the dashboards our information was presenting. We were now not only showing static information, we were showing historical, we were showing trends, we were showing year over year. We were giving comparisons that most people didn't have or could easily find. Now they had it on one beautiful dashboard. We tripled the delivery speed for our projects. We were going from quarterly releases, trying to figure out how to solution up a report to one dashboard. That's huge. We created a one-stop shop for all of our metrics of success for the company. We empowered our users to say, hey, is this information valuable to you? You're incentivized on this information. Let's put it in a place that's easily accessible. And now, given the environment where they have multiple sources of truth, multiple reports, things that they're used to seeing, they can now just have a link that just takes them there. And that's something they got behind. Our end users got behind one access, one quick link, and taking it wherever they needed it. And it armed them for conversations with their, say, restaurant managers or someone easily. Increased time to action based on a single metric from multiple weeks to insights. You have people opening dashboards the morning of before their meeting to make sure that they're aligned to what they need to be focused on. That's huge. You don't need to put in a ticket to IT or BI to say, hey, can I get a report with X, Y, Z? We have a dashboard for that. As I like to say, go nuts. Of course, we saved over 10,000 hours of data wrangling. When you have a lot of reports over a lot of platforms, it's very easy to get caught up in where is what, how do I get it, who knows where it is, or this is my report, I only use this, I only know where to get this, but how do I get this? So the immediate impact of Tableau was, you don't need to look, it's there. And my favorite one is we retired over 200 legacy reports. Yeah, I heard it. Someone said, woo, where is it? There it is. I like it. So Tableau's impact in 3 months, those are the quick hits, right? Those are right off the bat, very noticeable. And if we can do all this in 3 months, 3 years is gonna be pretty crazy.
Good deal. Thanks, Neil.
Of course.
All right, guys. Well, that's our story. I think this is definitely not a story about a particular one ROI or one way we got to a certain insight. This was really for us about how we changed Chipotle as a culture and how we changed Chipotle and how we look at data, get to insights, and use data to really take action and change the way we work. And it's been an awesome journey, and it's been early, but it's been something for Chipotle that was definitely needed, and we were able to take advantage of a really hard time in our history and turn that into something pretty great and have a good starting point from here. This is our story. This is how it worked for us. It's each of you will have your own journeys, what your culture's like, where you are in your maturity, what gets people hungry, what people care about, most in the company. But this is the way it worked for us. We saw that our culture was, people were passionate. They wanted to change Chipotle for the better. They wanted to bring us back to where we were, and data's gonna be part of that. So thank you all very much. I think we have a little time for some questions. If anybody has any. Yes.
So you talked about the fact that you had customers meeting your executive level as well as the field level managers
Yeah, a lot of allies. I mean, definitely in the field side, you had to have the people that are out in the restaurants that hadn't looked at data in the same way, hadn't understood success in the same way. You need to get them aligned on what it could mean. When you see your speed of how you get people through line, what does that mean? You get more people coming in if you have less people in line. If your customer satisfaction is higher, it can lead to increased sales, helping guide them through, why do they need to care about this stuff. Also on the headquarters side, we needed to align with people across multiple areas of organization, because we had people in HR and operations who may not see it as their first priority to understand the metrics of a restaurant per se, but it was all impacting. When we saw a restaurant go down, a lot of times that happened because of turnover or other employee issues. So we had to get the company to understand that these metrics are important for everybody, not just people that were in the restaurant, right on the ground. You got in the back. Hi. Data infrastructure. Well, we're lucky enough in that BI, part of BI, we have a data management component. I wouldn't say our data infrastructure was necessarily spectacular out of the gate, but we did have a focus to make sure we built a really nice data layer specifically for this kind of reporting. That was part of our planning. We didn't talk about it a lot, in this discussion, but every step of the way, part of this was building out that data layer to make sure we were ready for success and had no concerns there. Hey, up front.
What's the end user access or interface? Like how do people go in to get to the dashboards? And are you using mobile at all?
Yeah, good question. We definitely have mobile strategy coming. Out of the gate, we didn't go mobile, but right now we have a one place, basically one link that drives in that main dashboard, and that main dashboard drives into all the insights. We're using, that one link comes through our standardized central SharePoint site right now, but that's where everybody goes. You go to one spot, and then they can go deeper, from there. What do we have in the back over there? Yeah, good question. There wasn't, I wouldn't say we had a standard how many dashboards we built out every month, but we did know that we had to get to a certain number to make sure all the insights and the most important metrics were there. And we had a goal by the end of 3 months. So we tried to figure out how we could get to that. We've obviously continued from there. In regards to the deep diving, we've done a couple different things. We have gone further in our desktop usage. Some different analysts across the company are starting to be able to go deeper. But we also built out the dashboards at different levels, so you can drill in depending on which tab you go to, how deep you want to go. So if you're at a restaurant, you may go a little deeper than if you're at like a region for say where you have hundreds of restaurants. Oh, hey, at the microphone. Look at the guy using a microphone. All right. Oh, they don't work, though. That's
classic.
Okay, so, hey. So, hey, guys. My questions are really around user stories. Do you feel like the dashboards that you provided them also created some competition within your regions? Or was it something more that was local to them that, hey, they didn't know the issue existed until the information was in front of them?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, competition is definitely built into our culture, and those of you guys that are in like a retail experience, you may find that too. We purposely did allow people at certain levels to see how other areas were doing to help drive that very healthy competition. When you got down to a restaurant level, though, we tried to avoid that in some ways. We want to keep the restaurants extremely focused on what they need to do every day. But as you rolled up in our hierarchy of people that had more areas of control, we wanted them to see where they could achieve, based on how their peers were doing. Hey, yeah.
In those 3 months, did you guys spend any time or effort on MDM or data governance for these reports?
Good question. Yeah. We do have a master data management tool. It's called Smarky. And that's something we've been evolving over the couple of years prior to this effort. We still have a ways to go in our master data management efforts, but it is something that's extremely important to us to make sure, especially as we continue to grow and we build out our foundational most important metrics. So yeah, huge thing for us to focus on. It was something we luckily were starting to build out before we got to this point. Yeah, in the back. I'm sorry, can you say one more time? Oh, like the extracts? Oh, on the dashboards? Yeah, I mean the big part for us was when we built out, the first dashboard, we built it in a way where you always had the most important metrics in certain points. You always had the same way that you could drill through our entire hierarchy in the same way. We made it so it was a standard approach. So when people came, there was no question on, hey, I want to see what's going on at this next level of our hierarchy, or I want to know what the most important metric is of this dashboard. We developed them very much in the same standard, so when they got there, they knew where these things were. We did spend a pretty significant effort up front to make sure that foundational training was there, but once we had that, when we rolled these new ones out, there was very little additional parts they had to figure out to understand that next dashboard and metrics. Does that help? Okay. Any other questions? Hey.
So you talked about the foundational training. What training did you provide down at the restaurant level to make sure they understood how to use all these?
Yeah, we tried a lot of things up front. We slowly slimmed down, but we had videos that we'd have. We'd have live training sessions. We'd have, what's the term, help
pages.
Help pages, I guess you can call it, where you did you show the dashboard, and then we had little bubbles on all the things, on what everything is. We tried a lot of different approaches up front. I think what we ended up finding was the live training to give them the ability to really see how you used it that first time and keep that live training alive through videos was probably the most effective for us, along with keeping those help pages alive, at all times and updated. Does that help? Okay. What else, guys? Any other questions? Yeah, up front.
So did you guys run into any issues between small franchisees and large franchisees wanting to see different metrics for running their operations?
The good news is we're all company owned, so we all had to carry the same way. Oh, in our hierarchy, we have people, up our hierarchy. If you're a patch leader, for example, you have 6 to 10, sub-region up to a region level where you could have hundreds. So it's just part of our organizational hierarchy. But otherwise, everyone across the company is responsible in the same way for their restaurant's success. Yeah.
How much Chipotle is evolving and queso coming out? Are there any frustrations taking a month or two to see results? Some people want to see it more quickly.
Yeah. Thank you for throwing a question with queso. Love our queso. People want it fast. People want data fast, and sometimes it takes a little while for reaction. When you do a big promotion like we're doing now for queso, you don't see that reaction right away, but people look for it right away. And a lot of what we get to do in BI is help educate not only that particular person, but the company on when can we see results, when do we expect results, what kind of leading indicators should we start seeing at what times. So there's definitely learning, as a company, as we go through this, especially since we're doing a lot of things that we haven't done in the past. But generally, it's us helping train the company on when we should expect at what times and what to look for. What else, guys? Questions up front?
Were there any mistakes that were particularly impactful or good learning lessons that you guys made?
Yeah, there might have been a couple. I think performance has been one we've really been trying to get a handle on. We learned a lot. We had pretty users with some high level of requirements for what they wanted to see, these stakeholders. And we didn't get a full chance to see what really that impact was on performance until we rolled it out sometimes. And all of a sudden you roll it out and go, oh my gosh, did our box just about go down right there? So we've learned a lot on, and that's why that triple constraint became a huge thing between performance, complexity, and the hardware. We learned really quick that complexity of your dashboards can very much impact performance, and they have all the specifications that Tableau has. They have those for a reason. We definitely learned that. Yeah, so I think performance and complexity was probably one of our biggest learnings. Yeah. So, time to say that one more time. Oh, what can I tell you for that? I would say we basically measure, how fast we're able, from when you get to your tortilla until you check out. That's kind of our time frame. It gets a little, as you'd expect, right? The line gets bigger, it gets harder to measure some of that, but mostly it's once you get to that tortilla, how long it gets you to check out from there. I probably can't tell you a whole lot more than that right now. What else do we have? Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah, some of them have shed a tear or two, definitely. No, it's we have evolved the team a lot. We've evolved our BI space a lot. But I think people, they understand, right? Some of the stuff had been built for a long time ago. And once you get to see the capabilities of what we can do with Tableau and the different ways we can use data, people are accepting. There's still some people that cry occasionally about it. But no, I think generally, the people that were responsible from this early stuff, it's all part of the evolution. And everybody that's part of Chipotle right now is all part of it and excited to keep going. What else? Any other questions? Yeah, up front. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, those 200 reports were all automated reports that were built through Microsoft reporting services or through MicroStrategy. And those 200 reports, there was a little bit of art, there was a little bit of science. There was sometimes we did screen tests, shut some stuff down, see who comes talking to you. There were other times we had to be more proactive and tell them, like, we appreciate that you've used this report for the last 10 years, but here's where you need to go now. So there was no perfect answer. I had to have a lot of hard discussions. These guys haven't had a lot of hard discussions. By the end, between the screen tests of like, hey, we got to shut it down. I don't know who's going to come yet, but we'll talk to them when they come. To other folks who we knew this was their report they used for the last 10 years that came in their inbox in the same way and they saw the data the same way, but we knew there's better ways to do it. We had to have those discussions. So, the art, the science. Yeah, front. Yeah, MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, we're retiring right now, and the main reason for that is we're a small, we're nimble, small team, and as part of that, we don't have the ability to have to deal with a heavy tool which takes a lot of administration. MicroStrategy was that for us. It took a lot of work to do the foundational things that we couldn't support and wasn't getting the value we needed. We needed to be able to deliver faster and more effectively, and also not be constrained to the one tool. We want to be able to build out the right foundational data layer that could be used for Tableau, but also used for other self-service capabilities. So that's why MicroStrategy is slowing down a little at Chipotle. Any other questions? Yeah, in the back.
How many data sources did you have to, integrate for that data layer to use with Tableau? Or did you just use a well-defined data warehouse?
A little both. We use some of our enterprise data warehouse. We use other sources as well. Any guesses how many sources we'd use?
We had to use. I know we've got one for each one, but I think they're sourced from maybe 4 or 5 different tables. So.
We have a lot of sources. Mm-hmm. Some of them integrated in our enterprise data warehouse. Some of them we had to, that were from new vendors or there were new calculations. We had to be a little more creative, at least out of the get-go. I don't know. Probably have like 20 different sources of things. Some of it was already pre-integrated. Some of it we had to take the upfront work to get it together. Hey, yeah. Up front. Yeah, red shirt guy. Yeah.
Question about what did you guys do about distributing data to people that don't have
Yeah, good question. You know, the majority of folks that we try to use do have the Tableau license, at least a user license. We also, I don't know, can I talk about just the email distribution model? Can I talk about that here? Yeah, okay. We also use Viz Alerts for some email distribution. That gives other folks that may need more static views of the data in Tableau. So it's a combo of users who need it for dynamic capabilities plus Viz Alerts. Hopefully I didn't cause any problems. Any other questions, thoughts? Over here, hi, yeah. BI team, strong 11 people right now. Strong, yeah, as I said, we're small and nimble. We have, you know, Tableau folks, we have data management, prod support like folks, data scientists, all the different functions of a BI team. But we are small for a company of our size, that's for sure. Yeah.
Are all the dashboards and the analytics done in your group company-wide, or are there different users and creators of dashboards in different teams?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, this was all done by our team, and mainly, you know, again, this was where we took a little different approach to maybe some of the traditional decentralized, coming to the centralized model. We started with an enterprise dashboard capability that we wanted to get to make sure people understood how we could use data differently first, how we could really get to insights more effectively than they ever have. And now we're slowly going down, you know, the model of giving other folks across the team the ability to do the same things. But we want to make sure we set the stage of how it could work and the best ways and most effective ways to do it. Yeah.
Did you ever, you or you face a question or demand from other users or stakeholders of putting a beautiful interactive dashboard into a PowerPoint?
Yeah, we did. You know, it's amazing. We found sometimes you can create the most amazing dashboards. Give you every insight, and people still take it and they put it in Excel and they like add one field and then send it out in some weird format. You know, we had a lot, people still do it. No matter what we do, there's still gonna be people out there that it takes a while to get them to understand what a dynamic capability is all about. So yeah, we still have times where people come to us and we'll see this thing like, what is that? Where do people get that thing? Like, oh, I just took your dashboard, did this, and then we added some stuff. So yeah, we're still evolving in that way, no question. But you know, part of it is us just teaching and helping to continue to people show different ways they can use it without feeling that need that what they've done for the last 10 years. It takes a little while. People get out of that habit. Yeah.
What do you find was an effective strategy in balancing creating these foundation reports versus the ad hoc reports? So you have to say, you know, sorry, we don't build it, but not right now. What do you find was a good strategy to balance building reports and being able to tell people, no, we'll get this?
Yeah, I can't say there was a great strategy except no. It's one of these things, when this stuff was so important, you know, when you don't have the most important metrics that determine our success in everybody's hands to take action, I mean, we can't falter from that. You know, we can't go. I still have a support team that takes ad hoc requests, and that's their job. You know, people come in, they need certain data or need certain things. We still have that function. But when it came to our enterprise reporting, you know, we made sure we focused on the most important metrics first before we went down another path. And, you know, good news about that is that that demand drives the leadership to understand the value you can provide and the value, you know, we all can provide, and allowing folks like, what else do we need? Yeah, okay, we got this. What do we do? What do we need for this? And it's been exciting to see, you know, the excitement of the rest of the company to look for, you know, what else do we need as a company to build our capability further than we have and make it so I don't have to say no, you know, all the time. On the way back.
How does Chipotle gather their customer experience data? Is it just surveys on the back of receipts like you see at other places, or surveying elsewhere?
Yeah, good question. Customer survey. Customer satisfaction. We do have surveys that you have on a receipt. You guys can win burritos for a year. Next time you guys come in, take a survey, tell us how we're doing. But no, we do have surveys on our receipts. We also have a reactive ways people can get feedback. You can call us, you can go on our website and tell us how we're doing as well. But customer satisfaction surveys are the biggest one outside of us using other firms to help just with customer sentiments and things. else? All right, I think we hit it. Well, guys, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time, and it's an honor that you're able to come and listen to us today.